of human highs and lows, and integral perspective and approach. Before we start the session, let's just step back for a few moments of silence. So greetings, everyone. And it gives us great joy to have Monica Gulati back with us again. She trained as an immunologist, but she found that spiritual research was not really her calling while she was studying at the University of Zurich. She had an episode with cancer which made her realize that the truth was the way of the heart. She lives fearlessly through every moment, reading every inner message to meet the challenge of existence. She's a relentless explorer and is graced to be on this inner journey, hand in hand with her fellow travelers. And the subject of her presentation tonight is the swings of the pendulum. So looking forward, and over to you, Monica.
Thank you, James, and namaste again to everyone. And thank you for being here today. So I'm very happy to be on the last session today because today I can maybe take an examination.
Yeah,
like
you're usually right at the beginning, aren't you?
So, I avoid nowadays speaking too much because I think that there's already so much, available, so many good speakers available. We are already listening to many things on YouTube, to further our journey on the path. And we all have knowledge and we all have ignorance too. And you have already heard so many good speakers in the past this week, so many good sessions, some practical, some conceptual understanding, leading everything, furthering us on the path. So let us share, first of all, before I share, maybe it would be a repetition of whatever the other speakers have said. So let us share what all we have maybe taken away, for little things that we have taken away for ourselves by attending this workshop on highs and lows of human beings, human existence. Yeah, whatever little or more we have gathered from all these sessions, plus our own, of course, life experiences. What do we do about these highs and lows? Why are we discussing it at all? Because we are not discussing blue and yellow. Let's discuss about blue and yellow color. We are discussing about highs and lows. So there must be some reason why we are at it. And yeah, anything anybody wants to share. I should call every speaker and say no one is speaking. Yes. Yeah, please.
Yeah, may I?
I'm
Yes,
sure
please go ahead.
Yeah,
Abhijit will
yeah,
say something.
yeah. Actually,
Oh,
maybe because we are having these dips and ups, maybe more of dips, less of ups to begin with, or rather over a period of time or continuously, these dips keep nagging us. And we are somewhat afraid of these dips. We keep on apprehending the dips, and as a consequence of apprehending the dips, we call them onto us. Not only that, this our conditioning has somehow made us frightful of these dips, and these we are basically terrorized by our errors. We don't want to accept our errors, as if we have committed some crime. It should not be, these errors should not be. Basically, these errors are stigmatized. They basically stigmatize us, and while we are looking at the outside, we keep on saying this should not be done or that should not be done. But a time comes when we start looking inwards, and then we start finding faults only within. And one quote, and then all of a sudden we have this light. For a day or two we are on the high, and then again this light recedes and we are just down in the dumps. So one quote of Sri Aurobindo, this keeps on coming, that this despairing, this hoping violently and then despairing swiftly, this sounds so means it seems like a fiber of the being, means we are just hoping violently and despairing swiftly. So when this workshop came along, this human highs and lows, and this is basically my first session. James knows this. This is my first online session with you all. So somehow this pulled me. This pulled me because this is something very, very, very close to my heart. Since childhood, I have been having this without knowing why. I have been having these highs and lows, highs and lows. So this is it. Maybe this is the first time I have spoken so frankly. So this is it, Monica. I have given the first test, first examination, first student of the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, anyone who would like to go next?
Yeah, I would like to speak. As a sadhak of yoga, the goal of yoga, according to Bhagavad Gita, is samatvam yoga uchyate, which is the equanimity. And that is the goal. And to reach that goal, we have to understand the reason behind the highs and lows. The highs and lows are the impediment to reaching that goal, because we need to be in that state of equanimity, both in the inner being and in the interactions with the outside world. So I think this course helped me understand the nature of the vital in a much more deeper way. And I especially enjoyed Dr. Soumitra Basu's session because it helped me really understand where the problem is and where I need to work on to reach that state of equanimity.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you, Deepti. Yeah, rest of us, whoever must have heard the earlier sessions and maybe reflected upon them, gathered some wisdom for our journey. Anyone? Maybe rest of us have reached equanimity already. There's no need to speak. Why should we speak? Yeah. So anyway, let's maybe take it further. So first of all, I would like to thank you, those of us who shared a little, giving us an idea of that it was a reflective and helpful workshop. As Shushmita ji started with, that we won't be discussing about blue and yellow because neither blue troubles us nor yellow. But we talk about highs and lows because the lows specifically, they trouble us. They, as she uses the words, we are resisting the dips. We don't like the dips. At times we are afraid of the dips also. Now imagine a child, we all have seen little children trying to walk, gain their balance. Imagine that what would happen if a little child, before he begins to walk, has an already developed mind, like us, developed or I don't know, badly conditioned, and he's falling, poor fellow, and he's saying that, why am I falling? I don't want to fall, I just want to walk. He won't be able to walk. He won't be able to walk. So like that, we are all in this, as mother says, this is adventure of consciousness. And the highs and lows and the dips and whatever, the ups are just part of that series of this beautiful adventure of consciousness. Imagine an adventure where you already have a well-charted path in front of you. I mean, no fun. There is no dip, there is no high, there is just a flat field, everything is known, everything is mapped. What's the fun? It can't be called adventure. So adventure of consciousness, mother says that when mother talks about the story of creation, where we can read in detail directly from mother's words, that would be nice, but I will just paraphrase it. She says that when the supreme creator brought out from himself this Shakti aspect, the Aditi, the divine mother, he gave the task of creating the creation to her. And the divine mother, she brought out these 4 aspects from herself, which were, if I'm not wrong, truth, bliss, consciousness, and maybe immortality, all the beautiful things. And as if, imagine that you give money to a person, that go buy this money, something for myself, you give a list that go with this money, you get these things from the departmental store. Now the guy goes out and now he thinks that the money is mine. I can do whatever I like with this money. So this is what mother says kind of happened with those powers that went out to create the existence. They upturned, they inverted. So bliss became suffering. Truth became falsehood. Immortality became mortality. That's why we have death. And light became darkness. So what are exactly these aspects? I think better to read mother's words. But I'm just paraphrasing it, that everything which is good and positive, it just turned into its opposite. Now to set right the creation, an aspect of the divine went into the creation so that the creation can be brought towards its own source and origin. And that is why all of us have this light within us. And that is why we can recognize the darkness and move towards the light. Right? All of us can recognize the words of light wherever we get it. We may get it in a book, we may get it on a Netflix video that we may be watching, some talk that we may be hearing, some child is playing, we recognize the light. So there is this light in us, the light of consciousness, that recognizes that light, and also that recognizes wherever is the darkness within us. If not for the presence of that light, we cannot travel this path. So mother says that all the souls willingly to help the divine mother, plunged into this adventure of consciousness, that let us bring the whole creation from darkness to light. Now that is why we have highs and lows, because in one day we don't have light, like Shushmita ji was sharing, that we have something, then it fades away, right? We have this light, we have this major experience in our life, maybe a near-death experience or some challenging disease that we go through. We have this like direct path put in front of us. But we see that the intensity of that path fades in time. The intensity doesn't stay with us. And to revive that intensity, we have to read more. We have to again and again remember mother. Maybe we have to remember and offer, because we forget. There is blindness, there is ignorance. So that is the design. That is why we have highs and lows. And Vedic rishis also, I think you must have heard from some speaker already, that Vedic rishis had these days and nights on which, as if they said that the seeker is suckling, like one suckles on the breast of the Divine Mother. So days and night both are giving nurture. Our pain and suffering gives us nurture. All of us, if we have had challenges in our life, don't we know? We know that how much of intensity and conviction our sufferings have given us. So why do I blame the lows then? When I am learning equally from the highs and maybe more from the lows, what is the point of blaming the lows or resisting or being afraid of the lows? And if I have truly gotten through some true experience, some true realization from my lows, my suffering, my pain, my emotional challenges, Deepti ji was talking of the surface vital, very obstinate, very resistant. If I have truly been through one or couple of challenges and have learned something about my own self, this machinery with innumerable parts, if I've learned about it, then I would actually say, do naman to the divine, that thank you for giving me that low. Otherwise, I would not have understood what is this ego consciousness, where is it coming from. If I look at my experiences all the time, wherever I have seen dips, true dips, depressive dips, and also very intense because of the vital, I have seen the play of ego consciousness in me more closely. So we can be thankful for that low, because that makes us turn into a high. Now again that fades, and another experience comes which gives us a low. So Dr. Alok Pandey, he uses one beautiful example in one of his talks, where he says that imagine that there is this family walking, and there is a father and a mother and little children walking together. Now the pace of children is not equal to the pace of father and mother, right? And the father and mother walk ahead, but the children are left behind. So what would the father or mother do? They'll stop for a while, or maybe they make a U-turn to maybe catch up pace with the children. Now the children is all the stuff which is coming from matter side, mind, life, body. Our thoughts, they are not pure, they are impure. Lots of negative loops are there. Thoughts are not totally turned to the divine. Life, our vital energies, they're all turned towards disturbing emotions most of the time. And our body, getting tired very easily, being lazy, having lots of tamas and inertia, not being able to follow a discipline. So all this thing that is coming from the matter side is full of a darkness. We can't help it, because that is the design of creation. We don't. Sushmita, you were sharing that at times it brings us shame, as if we are sinners. We are not sinners. We are willingly adventuring into this beautiful adventure. Then if we are sinners, then all of us are sinners. We are all in the same boat. Even an avatar would be called a sinner only then, because he is doing the same journey. So who is a sinner and who is divine? Everyone is divine and everyone is a sinner. No? So this is the design of the creation. The journey is from darkness to light. I don't have to blame myself for darkness, because what would be the adventure if there is a well-charted map in front of me? I would not even want to get up for that adventure. I want to get up for that adventure where I don't know. There may be different things I will find. Maybe I can die. A fearless adventure. Maybe I can die. Who knows? But then I would know what death is. So an adventure is beautiful only when it has unknown aspects. and aspects which we can't fathom. And that is why we can't fathom this mystery of life. It's mystery of life, right? The moment we begin to fathom it, it flies away like a butterfly, the moment you, or a squirrel, the moment you try to catch it, it just slips away, or like a fume coming from perfume. But we can experience it. So we have experiences of highs, very happy to have those experiences, and we have experiences of lows, and the experiences of lows also bring me closer to mankind in general, because only through my suffering, through my pain, I recognize the collective human suffering. That just like how I suffer through this narrowness and constriction of my ego consciousness, how billions of us suffer when they are so constricted. That gives me empathy, that gives me, like a grounding. Like I am not here above since I'm speaking. We are all on the same ground since all of us have highs and lows. We can't help it. And we don't have to help it, we just have to go through it. Shamelessly, Mother uses the word, dust off your pants and shamelessly rise up. Because if you are shameful and guilty, then you will not be able to rise. So we can be so glad that we have this aspect of shamelessness. A child has that aspect of shamelessness. We have to be all children of the divine. We are all children, no matter how big we may be in our degrees or how many speeches we may have given. We are still children. We are still in nursery grade if we look at the ladder of consciousness that we have to travel. So if we become shameful only when we have this baggage in us that, oh, I have been walking on this path of sadhana since 20 years, 30 years, and look, here I fall again. So when I have that baggage in the mind of 20, 30 years of being a sadhak, then only I mind a fall. A little child who is learning to walk, 2 years of age, 1.5 years of age, he doesn't mind the fall. But an adult, if he falls, he looks here and there, who was able to see that I fell. So we better to be a child of the divine and knowing that we all are falling and crawling and on our knees, and it's beautiful to be on our knees because that gives us this grounding that we are not perfect and we are all moving towards a perfection which we have a glimpse of, maybe that's why we are moving towards it, but we still are steeped in ignorance, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. In Savitri, we have so many beautiful lines, and nowhere Sri Aurobindo would say that be ashamed of this, you poor fellow, what are you doing? Nowhere he says that. He says that's the journey, that's the design. Embrace the design. Embrace the highs and lows like a ladder and move forward. Always, Mother uses the word always forward, always forward. Dust off your pants, shamelessly rise up. So then there is no problem with the highs and lows. Everything is, and Sri Aurobindo also uses the word divine diplomat, uses each fall for a greater rise. All of us are aware how our falls have made us into whatever degree of beautiful human beings we are right now. It is because of the falls that we are there. If not for the falls, only highs will have made us arrogant. No? Look, I am a scholar, given so many speeches. But if not for the falls, they are the ones which open our heart. Connect us with, empathize with, collective human suffering. Darkness, empathize with darkness and see that darkness is not really darkness. Darkness is hiding some gifts for us. The lows are hiding the highs. So not to be afraid of the appearances at all, because we are all immortal beings. I think by this time, we must have even a theoretical understanding of this, if not a material understanding, that we are immortal beings. We are changing bodies after bodies, coming again and again, taking rebirths and pushing ourselves into this divine work or adventure of consciousness. So what is the problem with highs and lows? Nothing. Just a beautiful experience of all the variety of experiences that we have in life. So there is this very like a big section specifically which I am remembering right now, but there are many other sections also, like Glory and Fall of Life. In Savitri there is one canto, Glory and Fall of Life, that is also very revelatory again of these ups and downs. And specifically in book 1 canto maybe 3, which we'll maybe take up today, there he talks about these oscillations that are inevitable, part of the design. So that we'll take up maybe today. If there is anything here right now, we can share. If anyone wants to share anything, else we take up something from Savitri. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's take something from Savitri. So here he shares how we have highs, but the highs do not stay. And then we have falls, and we are the ones who are calling the falls because we are used to the falls. So here, so this is book 1, Book of Beginnings, canto 3, the Yoga of Soul's Release. So this is the Yoga of King Ashwapati. Only a while at first these heavenlier states, so this is what we call highs, beautiful meditative experience or glimpse that we have. Only a while at first these heavenlier states, these large, wide poised upliftings could endure. The high and luminous tension breaks too soon. The body's stone stillness and the life's hushed trance, the breathless might and calm of silent mind, or slowly they fail as sets a golden day. The restless neither members, the mind, life and body, tire of peace. Now this is very interesting. Our containers are like plastic cups. Now we have plastic cups, right, in which we can pour water or coffee or whatever, cold coffee. And we have maybe rock solid cups also. Now imagine the flow of a waterfall, like a Niagara fall or something, very rushing fall. And where is the container? The container is a plastic cup. What would happen to that cup? It can't contain. So he says that the restless neither members, they tire of peace. We can't contain that much peace. We are not used to it. So we have to maybe, walk around or maybe call up a friend that too much of peace and meditation. Let me call a friend, phone a friend. Or let me watch something relaxing on television. Because I can't handle that much of peace and soul stillness. I can't gather it. So that is because the container is coming from a weakness, from a darkness, and it is not yet strong. It only in degrees it becomes strong. So he uses the word here, the restless neither members because these lower members, the mind, life and body, they're coming from that stone consciousness. All of us have been stones. Imagine being a pebble, you can't move. Then we have life, we developed into plants or insects, all of us. And then maybe higher animals, developing a little bit of mind and intelligence, and now human beings. So stone consciousness, body, matter, full of inertia, tamas, then having a little bit of life, evolving life out of it, then evolving mind out of it. But that doesn't stop us. Of course, we have to go forward to overmind, supermind. That's what the journey is about. So we are coming from that stone consciousness and we are having that little bit of pieces and parts of those stony consciousness in us, which pulls us down. We can't help it. That is our origin. We are coming from that. So restless neither members, they get tired of the peace. That, oh my God, too much peace. Let me have a break. That's why when we do meditation, we can't do it 1 hour at a stretch. We maybe start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So the restless neither members tire of peace. That's why it kind of has to fall. the nostalgia of old little works and joys, a need to call back small familiar selves, to tread the accustomed and inferior way, the need to rest in a natural pause of fall. As a child who learns to walk can walk not long. He gets tired. He goes to mama's godi, mama's lap, and rests there. And then maybe, after resting, then he begins again. Like that. Replace the titan will forever to climb on the heart's altar, dim the sacred fire. Sacred fire. So, like this, we slowly, in pieces, in parts, in degrees, we have to get along because there is no other way. We get tired because of that origin from the matter, darkness, the inconscience of the matter. Then he says, an old pull of subconscious chords renewed. So you remember some old stories in your mind. You are doing meditation, good time, good time you have it. Now after some time you will remember some old story, some present commentary, which will call you. The thought will appear very, very important. You will think that, no, I have to think about it. How did that person dare to say that word to me? I have to think about it. So an old pull of subconscious, our patterns, thinking patterns, feeling patterns, they draw us, they call us like, they are glitter. An old pull of subconscious chords renews. It draws the unwilling spirit from the heights. So the spirit may not want to come down from that meditative voice, but you are called. Or a dull gravitation drags us down to the blind driven inertia of our base. So this tamas of the body, which says that, oh, let me rest, I'm so tired of sitting. Too much of sitting today in meditation. I can't do that anymore. This too, the supreme diplomat can use. He makes our fall a means for greater rise. So our conviction gets strengthened. We say, no, I have to be on my toes again. Or we get conviction because of our falls. That I don't want this much of chaos in the mind that old patterns bring me. I want to renew my practice again. I want to maybe give more time to inner practice. So we renew our contract. So he makes use of that fall, a means for a greater rise. Yes, then he says that the formless power, the self of eternal light, follow in the shadow of the Spirit's descent. The twin duality forever one chooses its home mid the tumults of the sense. He comes unseen into our darker parts. So this light of consciousness has plunged into our darker parts also. Otherwise, the darker parts will never feel the need to rise to the light. The very fact that we need feel the need to go towards light is that there is something in us which feels the need towards light. What is that something? It is already present in us. So he says that he comes unseen into our darker parts and curtained by the darkness does his work till they too feel the need and will to change. So right now I may be thinking about all the negativities in my life and may not need to, why is the need to turn all the thoughts and feelings towards divine? I'm okay. I'm doing fine. But then suffering comes. Then we are pained by thinking obsessively about something in our life. And because of that pain, we get a greater conviction that no, this is not the right way. I need some clarity in my mind, some sanity in my mind. So I feel solace when my thoughts are turned toward the mother. So let me have that solace. When my feelings, the vital is turned towards the mother and I am not expecting anything out of other people, I feel a solace. I feel very sane within. So that's why I would do it. So slowly, because of our negative experiences, we turn towards the divine, which is our destiny. If I put my hand into fire and my hand does not burn, will I ever take my hand out of fire? Why will I do that? If it doesn't bring me pain. And that is why there are many diseases which are caught at the last stage because they did not bring you any pain. There was no symptom. So pain is a helper. Pain tells me, my suffering tells me, the lows tell me that it's a red signal. Beep, 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 change your path. Something is not okay. Something is not okay. So the lows are made use of to again set the inner compass right. So here it's what he was sharing. Till they too feel the need and will to change. The mind feels that no, I want sanity, I want clarity, I want a little bit of quietness in the mind. All here must learn to obey a higher law. Our body's cells must hold the immortal's flame. So slowly, slowly their taste will change. Right now their taste is bad. We continue to think of so many negative things and we don't feel sad about it. We are okay. That's a part of our life. So our tastes are very bad. We have bad tastes. Those tastes slowly have to change. We have to develop a refined taste. So that till they too feel the need and will to change. Else would the spirit reach alone its source. So the spirit is all light. It can say that I want to just go to light, but then the mind, life and body will not change. They are the ones who are like children, reducing the pace of mother and father going ahead. In one of the couplets by Kabir, Saint Kabir, he uses like as if there is a cart and the cart owner is Ram, the divine. And he requests the divine that please tread slowly. Because I can't keep up with this pace. So the owner, the cart, who is the bearer of the cart, that is the divine, the Ram or Lord, and he's doing it like a little faster. Now the spirit is very fast, but the neither members are not that fast. So he says, "Zara halke gaadi haako, o Ram gaadi wale." In one of the bhajans by Kabir. So means, please tread slowly this cart, take it slowly ahead. I am very frail and fragile. I can't keep up with this pace. So the mind, the life and the body, the feelings, the thoughts, emotions takes time so that they become totally pure. Because we don't have the taste of purity. Yeah, so here he says, each time he rose, there was a larger poise, a dwelling on a higher spirit plane. The light remained in him a longer space. In this oscillation between earth and heaven, in this ineffable communion's climb, there grew in him, as grows a waxing moon, the glory of the integer of his soul. So slowly all these experiences, highs and lows, they make the soul come forward in this oscillation between earth and heaven. Until there a time comes, at last was won a firm spiritual poise, a constant lodging in the eternal's realm, a safety in the silence and the ray, a settlement in the immutable. So imagine that we have floors in our being. On one floor, we have the floor of this narrow, constricted ego consciousness. Always a lot of chaos. At times, a little bit peace also, but mostly chaos. Narrowness, constriction, limitation, jealousy, all these negativities that name it, we have it. And then there is a poise of light. We have another floor, maybe 16th floor, 17th floor above in our being. And there it's peaceful. No party is going on. Very peaceful. So what I do is, at times I like that peace and I go up there, away from the lower floor, the first floor of ego consciousness. But when I am long enough in that poise, I say, now I am craving for some noise. Where is some noise, some chahal pahal? So I go back on that floor. the first floor of ego consciousness. So I'm called to that floor because my tastes have not changed. And there, actually, I make use of that poise that was there in the silent floor, that light, that wisdom, that clarity that I had there. Little bit of that trickles to the first floor. And the first floor also organizes itself a little. And then again it becomes too chaotic. And then I need to go back again to the 16th floor, 17th floor, again get some light, some grounding, so that I can again let it trickle to the lower floor. Because the lower floor is also mine. It's not belonging to somebody else. It has to change. That's the low, that's the high. Both are mine. Slowly, in the light of the higher floor, I have to work on the lower floor. Maybe I have just kind of done a lot of repetitions of what already was shared along the week, this week. And if we have any maybe reflections, questions, anything, we can share.
Yeah, I have one question. So, is low is the must in our current journey? Because since we are not achieved the stage of the consciousness, so without achieving and passing through the low, we can't achieve our highs nature. So, is it must or it is mandatory? In what's
What do you think, Pankajji? How does it appear to you?
yeah, because our consciousness is not evolved and we are not at the stage of that consciousness. So I think the lows is must to achieve the high.
Yes, yes. It seems like it is must. In the sense that we can't help it. It's the process. Like imagine that I have to create a building. No? Construction of a building. Now, if I ask the building constructor or the architect, do I need a foundation? Is it a must, the foundation? Because I just want those 16 floors. But what do I do with this? You're digging, 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 and digging, continuing digging. Why do we need the digging? And the constructor will say, are you mad? This is how things happen. So the process is like that. That for a firm foundation, we have to go very low, so that a very high can be achieved, which has a very firm foundation. And we all know what happens to those buildings where in the hurry of creating a building, you have a very sad foundation and many floors, and we know what can happen. So when we go into these lows and are not afraid of these darknesses, we then are not afraid of anything, because we are that torchlight, we are that light of consciousness which can go into the gutters and spread light there. What is to be afraid of? We are that portion of the Divine Mother. There is no doubt about it that we are that. And that is why there is a challenge in front of us, which the Divine Mother knows that we are capable, that look, the child is capable of giving 12th examination. Why should I give him class 3 examination? Test. So we are all very, very capable. We are all full of that fire. Kamila ji has shared the fire, the fire of the divine consciousness, which is with all of us. Otherwise, we would not have these challenges that we have in front of all of us. Have challenges in our life, including me. And if we were not capable, why would we have those challenges? The very fact that they are in front of us are a signal that I am capable. In the canto, The Way of Fate and the Problem of Pain, where the queen, the mother of Savitri, she is becoming very disheartened. What is this creation? Where is this God, hiding? So much of pain, so much of suffering. The man is left to his own fate. Is this all? So Narad says, "O queen, was then the sun a dream because there is night?" Beautiful lines. Let's go through those lines. Beautiful lines, really. Just a second. Yeah, here. So in Savitri, we have answers to, of course, all of us know all our questions. Now here, he says, "Was then the sun a dream because there is night?" You are complaining so much about this is what mortal realm is, so much darkness, so much, whatever turmoil. Hidden in the mortal's heart, the eternal lives. He lives secret in the chamber of thy soul. A light shines there, nor pain nor grief can cross. But a darkness stands between thyself and him. Thou canst not hear nor or feel the marvelous guest. Like there is a curtain in front and we don't even know that we are having the Divine Mother in us. There is a curtain that comes of blindness and of ignorance. A darkness stands between thyself and him. Thou canst not hear nor feel the marvelous guest. Thou canst not see the beatific sun. O queen. Now he talks about that curtain that is there. What is protecting, not letting me see the sun inside of me? O queen, thy thought is a light of ignorance. Its brilliant curtain hides from thee God's face. So as long as I consider all my thoughts and feelings to be concrete and real and yes, true, the more true they appear to me, the more thicker that curtain is between that beatific sun that is present in me and my sight. Thy mind's light hides from thee the eternal's thought. Thy heart's hopes hide from thee the eternal will. Thence, now he talks about, now is the need for the pain. Thence rose the need of a dark, intruding God, the world's dread teacher, the creator pain. Where ignorance is, there suffering too must come. Thy grief is a cry of darkness to the light. And then, of course, it goes on and beautiful lines one must read in one's silences, the whole canto. So as Pankaj was sharing that it is a must because ignorance is there. Ignorance is like I am walking on a road and I don't see the signals. If I don't see the signal, then accident has to happen, which will tell me next time to see the signal, right? So ignorance is like that. As long as I don't see clearly, fully, the light of wisdom, clarity, the all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, when I don't have that, pain is a must because pain course corrects me. The lows are my course correctors. The red light is my course correction. Stop! So wherever there is pain, wherever there is a low, I am going too much in the grip of darkness and depression. I know that something is I am doing which is not okay. Maybe I am too obsessively thinking about my life. Me, this little me. Maybe my focus has changed from mother to myself. Maybe I'm too much in the thoughts. I should do some mindfulness meditation, bring my mind to the present moment, breath, whatever. So all these lows are our course correctors. So as long as I have ignorance, as long as I don't have clarity, as long as there are other things that attract me here and there, and I plunge into them and I forget the mission of my life, there would need to be a low, because that low or a pain or a suffering will tell me, oh, I need to course correct. Simple, I have a stomach ache. Then what do? I wonder, what did I eat today? Oh, this does not suit me. Or maybe I work too much on the computer and I have a headache. If not for the headache, how would I know that I'm doing too much? I would die and I would not know that I did too much. So we can be so thankful for these little indicators of the lows and the depressive moods. And because depressive moods, what is it telling me? That my focus has gone too much on me, this little me. Oh, I am not progressing, that other person, too much in the separate self. So I have depression. And then again I course correct. I remember mother's words that may all the experiences of life teach me self-forgetfulness. And when I am self-forgetful, I am okay. When I am healthy, I am happy. I'm not thinking all the time obsessively about myself. When I'm offering myself to somebody else's work, I'm okay. I'm cheerful. Not obsessively thinking about myself. So all these things are just helpful reminders. And as long as we have ignorance, we need all these reminders, which is a long time. So let us be ready for a long journey, many lifetimes maybe. Let us embrace all these friends on the path. Yeah, so any last comments or suggestions, anyone? Yes.
Monica?
Yes,
Actually,
please.
this again leads me back to from where we have started about those dips and ups and highs and lows. And this reminds me of something, a paradoxical thing, that when we are beckoning the light, we can't hide from the darkness. And because it's specifically about those lines, light, endless light, darkness has room no more. So when God's contract with ignorance is torn, then we can't just hide. We just can't hide, and we have to embrace that. So it is basically just it just somehow completed the thing from where we had started, and from where to where this quote brought me. So this is what I wanted
Beautiful.
to share with you. It's such a nice presentation and session that you have led us to. Beautiful. Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you. It's like, what you were sharing, that now next time there is darkness in front, I'll just like do like this. Now, something I have to work upon, because otherwise,
Yes.
where is the challenge? Where is the challenge? Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, Marika, beautiful analogies. Thank you very much. Wonderful analogies, because those things really stick to the mind. Because otherwise, if we think, as you said, a lot of things we hear these days, but if we try to reflect what we heard maybe a month ago, 7 days ago, hardly we remember. Just the feeling, that someone said something very nicely. Then what is it really? It's also a business of the mind, So the mind is very forgetful, full of ignorance. So the crux of the matter is that what impetus it gives it the feelings, the total being, the comfort, or the deficiencies, if we can realize. That is it, one thing. And it just came to my mind is that if we can have that witness self, in the journey of highs and lows, the Shakshi Bhav is said. Whatever we listen, whatever we try to express, whatever we do, if we do all these things from a distance, then perhaps these pains will, gradually minimize and disappear. If we can identify and maintain a distance strictly, with that witness self. So that's very important. Otherwise, if you're engulfed in the darkness, in the lows, it's very difficult. For someone who is away, he or she doesn't realize really the trouble, the pains, the distress, the sufferings of someone caught in such kind of lows. So I think everyone from infancy, as a child grows, has to be taught some kind of awareness that to observe from a distance really. That witness self is very important to make a journey enjoyable, to really have the courage of this adventure. Once again, a beautiful presentation and with full of analogies which really sticks to the mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abhijit ji. What you shared, very important, relevant. I'm glad that you brought it up. The witnessing consciousness, and I have seen that it is in the moment of our most sufferings, because the highs we can, there is no need to be witnessing. Highs is highs and joy, but when we are suffering too much, then it compels us actually at times to be the witness, because we can't endure that much of suffering. So we have seen that there are many, many stories of very beautiful masters, even in Buddhism and other masters, who, because of their too much pain in their life that they were having, they were able to develop this aspect of detachment, or the witnessing bhava that you said, and it is a must, in synthesis of yoga, 3 chapters: the release from the ego, the release from heart and mind, and the release from the subjection to the body. In all the 3 chapters, Aurobindo actually elaborates on this witnessing bhava that you brought up, that how important it is for the journey to go forward. And even the lows and the dips, actually, they actually help. I have seen that in my personal sufferings, the periods of most, where I had the pain and suffering, emotional or mental or anything, I was compelled to detach myself, because I was not able to endure that much of pain. Then I had to ask myself, this story has to be untrue. This must not be happening to me, because this is just too much. And that compelled me to take that, the witnessing consciousness, because as you said, rightly, it should be part of education to develop that mindfulness and awareness. So, and that is what in integral education we actually take it into consideration, to develop that witnessing aspect in children since they are little. And if we don't have that as children, no matter, with our all the turmoils, we can develop it. Never too late. Mother says it's never too early, but it's never too late. Both. Yeah. So thank you, Abhijit ji, for bringing that witnessing self up. Yes, Deepti, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful session, and your energy is so vibrant and we can feel it and feel so positive about it. I think my biggest takeaway is that there was some shame related to the lows. And I loved what you said about being shameless and then rising up and, going forward. So I think that's the work that needs to be done, to work on the shame and not feel so shameful about the lows. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any last comments before we end? Yes, Sumiti.
Monica, I had these questions and I think I dived deeper while you were talking. It's beautiful. That is pain necessary? Like you described it so beautifully in many ways, how it is an instrument in terms of our journey. And then the question arises, is it the only way? Is there another way? Or pain is the only way?
Yes, yes.
So while you were talking about lows and highs, so when we are talking about the low, there is a high also. And when we are talking about the high, even that can be a motivation. Being in those ecstatic states has given you a taste, which you can dwell in, and nothing matches up to that taste. So that can also be a motivation to move on that journey, so that I don't become addicted to the lows to move forward. And it's in that stability which comes after a period of time when we have experienced both those lows and highs and their motivation, that you realize that the awareness can turn to itself and be aware of itself. Then there is no low and high in that state. It's just that what we call as presence, and you become aware of that. And they all are part of the journey. So it's amazing in this way. When I look at it, it's beautiful. The whole process and the understanding, and when the clarity comes, it's like aha kind of a moment.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, thank you. What the problem is, that since we were talking of this witnessing aspect, all of us know that it's so difficult to maintain that witnessing aspect and take stance as that, presence or awareness when we are having too much of a good time. We are not able to do that. We get lost into it. And that is why we have disappointment when that thing is taken away from us.
That's what
And
you
by
said, Monica, when
yes.
there is no fear of suffering and there is no attachment to the, keeping it what you have.
Yeah.
When those two things are brought to balance,
Yeah.
then it becomes easy.
Yes, yes, yes. But as long as it becomes easy, till then there would be the need, because we call these experiences. We have to actually, it's beautiful to read that canto on the way of fate, the problem of pain. And there Sri Aurobindo is telling why there is the need. I have felt that I become complacent in my good times. I have seen that many a times. I become blind. And every time I have a fall, I always find myself thanking the mother to bring me back. Because I swept away. So there is a curtain of blindness in front of us. So as long as that curtain of blindness remains in front of me, I'm so glad that there is something called low or a dip or a pain or whatever. It's not that I invite it, that, oh, give me pain, otherwise I can't. Kunti would do that, Kunti would say that because I remember you only in pain, please give me pain only. But we don't say that. But masters have said that because they realize the importance of pain. And mother says that don't invite pain. Mother says specifically that don't ask for suffering, but when it is there, because it will be there for a long time, when it is there, take the best maximum utilization of it, which for me is, it brings me back home. Because I lose my home, I lose my home, I lose my home. No matter I say that I'm consecrated to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and I have posters on my wall all around me, I still get swept away. What can I do? I'm blind. So there is pain. So that I can come back home. Again, enjoy lap of the mother for some time before I again run away. So it's a long, mother says, even for the best, it's a long and arduous journey. Even for the best. She uses the word in prayers and meditations, one of the prayer, I think November 28th, maybe 1912-13, where she says that slowly, little by little, through innumerable experiences of all sorts, may innumerable components of my being realize the importance and taste of self-forgetfulness. And then she says it's a long journey, even for the best. This is the sentence she uses. So let us be prepared for the long journey, and we have good companions on the path. We have Savitri, we have Life Divine, we have Synthesis of Yoga, one lifetime not enough for all this material which we have, no? So then what's the point of lamenting? So yeah, thank you, Sumiti ji, for concluding and summarizing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I've seen you somewhere. Have we met?
Yeah.
Okay, we have. Okay. Okay. Anything more? Anyone? Yeah.
A long and arduous journey with many detours. Yeah. I think you met at the conference last
Yes.
January.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's right. So, thank you, Monica.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Does anyone else want to say anything before we conclude, or no?
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Monica, and for the enthusiasm and that childlike quality that I love, the spontaneity. That's so beautiful, and it just it touches our hearts.
Oh, that's nice.
And also, in my experience, it's like yes, I also have the pictures of the mother all over the place, and I also forget, but I'm so happy to be in the path. I'm so happy. I cannot imagine what my life would be without that, without, like a big beam of light, you can fall and come back again. And anyway, it's so good to have this life and to use it for that purpose. So I wanted to I didn't know what I wanted to share, but I did want to feel that I'm a part of this, and that I appreciate a lot these conferences, so that we stay in the path, you know. And this week has been amazing. I have to yet watch again, like, all the conferences, because they're so good. They're really good. They have so much insight. And also, I think, you know, one thing is good that we didn't mention, and it's like this attachment, like we're attached to the suffering. But also with time, you become more disattached to everything, you know, to that. So it's like easier to let it slip, you know. It doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't stay for a long time. It's only like a passage. So something becomes lighter in the way you attach to ideas, to feelings. It's only like a temporary thing. So it's like you get, you know, there's always that there. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah. Great. Great. Well, okay, that's it then. Thank you all so much for attending and contributing so much to this event. It's been a small event, but it's been so vibrant and very helpful, I hope, and informative and insightful in places. And it's been a joy to hold it and to organize it and to witness it. Has been great. As I say, there's quite a few more lined up as well, and I'll be sending a feedback form later on tonight, so please fill it in if you've got the time. And so until the next time, Mother's blessings to you all, and divine love and light. Spread it around the world. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye bye.
Bye, Camilla.
Thank you.